Oh, hey, Roger. I got these for you.
Hello. Oh,
Here.
oh, thank you.
Have you given flowers yet?
Ah, what's going on, my friend? How are you? And welcome everyone to Great Combos, where we always say whether you agree or disagree, you can always find great combos. I'm Roger Caesar and the flower guy.
Hey, I'm Alexandre Matt. I still have him here. That was the magic of of the internet.
You gotta have fun, right, Alex? We gotta do things that are crazy, wild every once in a while. So I'm hoping that people understand and how to smile on their face when they saw that. And to say that, always thank you and welcome to our loyal listeners. Please put in the chat, say hello to us. We always appreciate you. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that more than
Mhm.
anything. And I think this is what we are talking about today, right, Alex?
That's right. When we say give flowers, we don't, well, it can be in the literal sense, but also in the figurative sense. Can you give flowers with just by giving words, by recognizing somebody, whether it's
Mm.
publicly or privately? So that's what this is all about. We may distribute some flowers today, Roger and I, uh, amongst each other, but also to other people. Roger?
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, this whole conversation kind of got started by me talking to you about my various trips that I went on over the course of 2 months, where I was literally flying from different time zones. But one in particular, and not to say that the others didn't do absolutely amazing jobs with regards to it, they did. And that's why I've loved going back there over and over again. But this was the first time that I actually went to India, and shout out to District 120. And when I came back, I remember talking to you and saying, oh my God, the amount of recognition they gave to their members over the course of the conference was insane. I'm talking about over 700 different plaques, different just recognition to the hard work that the members of District 120 did. And of course, they are going to be splitting starting next year, which is what, in July in our Toastmasters calendar. But
When you
they're
say
splitting into two. Yeah, they're
into two
splitting into
different
two
districts.
different districts, right? So this was the last one, but it was something to see, something to witness. And I wanted, this is the reason why we wanted to have this conversation today is, are you recognizing the people, not just in the personal world, but even in business? Are you recognizing the individuals for their work, for what they do, some of the things that they do behind the scenes? Are you recognizing them? And recognizing it does not necessarily mean you have to do something big and bold. Sometimes it's just seeing them. Hey, I saw what you did the other day. I just wanted to say thank you for that. Right, Alexander?
Yeah, do you think we don't have enough of that?
I think we're so caught up in the fast pace of our world and trying to get deadlines done, trying to make sure that we are always on time with everything else, that we sometimes lose out on those little things. And it's very important. You've seen it. It boosts the morale of corporations when the employees feel like they've been seen and heard.
Hmm. I've seen it. Well, you mentioned the conferences of Toastmasters. I've seen it at other events as well. There's always
Mm,
a recognition. I was at the Storytellers of Canada, Conteurs du Canada National Conference just a few weeks ago in Victoria, British Columbia, and of course there was some thank yous and recognition for everybody who had worked on that conference, but also who had given some work and their time and efforts throughout the year for the organization, for the milieu, for the art form of storytelling. So, and when that is done, we said that it can be either publicly or privately. When it's done publicly, I think it elevates those individuals in question, and it allows other people to recognize them as well. Because a lot of this volunteer work is done behind the scenes, and nobody knows about it. So while it's good to have those private thank yous, sometimes it's more powerful, maybe more useful when it is done publicly. What do you think?
This was a great question that we were going back and forth with, and there's two sides to this, Alex. I agree with you. I think that sometimes people love when they hear the names. Like I said, I'm going to refer back to District 120 when you see your name on the big screen and you see what you have done. The smiles on those individuals' faces tell me that they appreciated that public recognition. But I also, on the opposite side, often say that some people love when you just come to them and recognize their work for what they did, and it boosts them to go and do even more because you saw it. You didn't have to go and publicly. And there are people who don't need or want it to be a public recognition. They just want to know that you saw. And that's what would make them go that extra mile the next time, because you saw it. So it goes for both. It goes both ways.
Yeah, here's something to consider also about public recognition. Sometimes we might do it because we're obligated to, or because it's a thing that you must do. It's like, well, let's check a box, right? We're checking boxes to say, okay, we said thank you to this person, to that person. We're giving them flowers, literal or what's the opposite of literal? Metaphorical.
Metaphor. Yes.
Giving them flowers, literal or figurative. But sometimes if you go privately to someone, it's obviously not to check a box, because it's more heartfelt. If you do it privately in front of the individual, then that might be more felt by that person.
It's funny, we have different people here with us right now who have seen both sides. We've got Francine here, who says that she believes public recognition validates a person's contribution, where on the other hand, you have Christine. Shout out to Christine. Hello. Yeah, it could be sometimes embarrassing to be recognized publicly, and it also makes sense that behind the scenes works, right? So what I love is that everybody's contributing here. So thank you very much for joining the conversation. Alex, I go in large part, I would say I like it when you recognize people in the moment that it's happening, that you see it for what it is in the moment, and it doesn't always have to be a public thing. I get it. If we're having a conference, or we're having a huge party for the corporation, that at that time it really looks good that you do that, right? Are you with me? Are we showing the flowers again?
I accidentally pressed the button.
We got it. I saw the flowers. I get it. Thank you. Appreciate that. But really and truly, at those times, sure, we want to do that in those moments, because everybody gets to see and witness what these individuals have done. But personally, I'd like to see somebody just put a hand on your shoulder and say, I appreciate what you've done today. Thank you for going that extra mile. I think a person leaves feeling far greater in that moment than if they have to wait for a public viewing of it all the time.
Yeah. Well, we can surely do both, right?
Yes.
Give a thank you privately, immediately, and then perhaps even ask that person if they want to be put on a pedestal or in front of the scene. Because what Christine mentions about it can be embarrassing, that's something to consider. Perhaps those people, someone would not appreciate it at all, be embarrassed. So you can do it in a different way. Maybe put their face on big screen, and there's just ask them to rise if they are comfortable to do it, but not necessarily put them on the stage, or just say a thank you, or you know who you are.
Right.
I guess that comes down to personal, knowing that person in a deeper level also.
Yeah. But let's switch that up. What about on a personal level, though, Alex? Like, would you want somebody to publicly say thank you for something that you did that maybe you were just doing behind the scenes? On a personal level, we're talking about, not from a business perspective. And you can chime in as well, loyal listeners as well, on with regards to this. But we're talking on a personal level.
Do I prefer it privately or publicly?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's look at what McKinley wrote. You put it on screen, but I want to see it here. It doesn't matter, regardless of the situation. When you know you're doing the right thing, that's all that matters. So I think whether it's publicly or privately, I would want it to be authentic. I will prefer something that is personally said to me, that is true, heartfelt, rather than something that is public, meant to check a box or just to elevate me.
Right.
I don't think I need that sort of public recognition, but it's nice to know that someone appreciated what I did.
Yeah, and again, shout out to Kathy, who has been a long time listener of our show. Hello, Kathy. And she said you can always ask them how they would like to be recognized for their efforts. So maybe taking that extra step and finding out prior to the recognition. Again, it depends on the person, and I guess that's what it really comes down to. If you are talking from a business perspective, if you know the people that are working for you, you should know, generally speaking, their character, who they are, what type of person are they? Are they very shy all the time? Are they the type of person that's very outgoing? That can also determine which way you go about that recognition. But there is still the part that still comes where at first you have to go to that person. I just believe that you should at least go to the person and say, hey, look, thank you. We want to recognize you. If it is going to be a public thing, we would love to recognize you afterwards. Is that okay with you? Maybe that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think that's a great approach. Roger, we've got a lot here in the chat, in the comments.
Oh my God, so much. Thank you, everybody.
This one is from someone that I know personally. I've known her for my whole life. You recognize her.
Whole life.
Merle,
hello, Mom.
That's right, my mother, Merle, who says, it sure feels good when someone thanks you for doing something out of the ordinary, or thanks you for speaking up, or praises you for what you have done, whether publicly or privately.
Yeah.
And Suzanne echoes what we've been sharing here. The recognition has to be sincere.
Yes.
Your name can be on a screen or at the end of a report, but with no explanation. That can be forgotten by the audience or by the person reading such a report. Receiving an acknowledgement personally tends to create a conversation, identifying the why and what. So if it's a conversation both ways, not just saying thank you to that person and without having a retroaction.
Right. And that's thank you very much, Suzanne. Another one who's been here for a long time supporting us. I appreciate you. But yeah, it's exactly that. And we've got one here off of YouTube from Karen, who says it's lovely to be seen regardless. Right. I think that's what it really comes down to. You will see the morale of a business falter when the members of the not just the members, sorry, the employees, or even the members, if we're talking about an organization like Toastmasters or any others, when they don't feel like they are seen and heard. Right?
So, Roger, why don't you share with me and the audience your experience with giving flowers to your team as a business leader?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this is something that I always have tried to do in every way. I remember my whole thing has always been about that. And it's not to be public. For me, it was always to make sure that right in the moment when I knew that they did something or I found out about something, that I pulled them in, whether it was into the office or wherever we were, and just told them. And just seeing the smile on their face, sometimes they didn't even care to know, or they didn't even think about it. That's I think is the beauty of it. When you tell them, hey, I saw what you did, I recognize it, thank you very much. Here's your here's a award for your efforts that you've done. And they just go, oh my God, I was just doing my job. I didn't think anything of it, right? I remember one of my employees, I bought, you know, he had been with us for 25 years at that time, right? And just went about his work, did it consistently, was awesome person. And so I bought him a crystal trophy for him, right, on that 25th year anniversary. And he was almost like he was sheepish and shy about it, but and a little embarrassed, and said, I was just doing my job, boss. But thank you very much for that. And a big smile on his face. And guess what? Even though he was shy about it, even though he was that way, after that happened, it's almost like he went above and beyond with his work, right? And that's all it took. So I'm always about doing it in the moment. In the moment, recognize people right there.
When you recognize someone, you reinforce what you are encouraging, right? You say, thank you for doing this. Well, they will want to continue doing that. It makes sense. Yep, now, I'm curious, in that particular example, you recognized someone for 25 years. Do you think that affected how the other employees started seeing their own work?
No, because again, that was about longevity. And they knew that he had been there for a long time. So that was recognizing how long he had been with the company, what he had contributed to the company at the time. But I had also recognized other people for different reasons on there, whether it was, you know, the employee of the month who did that extra bit during that period of time, or, you know, we made up little things. I can't remember all the different stuff that we would make up, but we would just make up things just to say, hey, I saw that. And listen, I'm going to be very honest with you as well, Alexandre. Not all the time did we remember it, because we either were busy and stuff. So I'm not going to sit here and preach as if every single time I was properly doing it. But I also knew how important it was, because you and I, if we're looking at it from the perspective of even ourselves, when we go out of our way to do things, or we go and we speak somewhere, we're busy trying to help a client and we see they get success. If we don't hear from them, there's a little part of you that feels, hey, did you not see what we did here? Right? You feel a little ways as a human being. So to sit here and say that I've always been perfect, there's no way I could sit here and say that authentically. But I tried my hardest, whether it was from working and having my business, the family business for so many years, to being a speaker now, to a coach with my clients, anywhere I am, even the people who work with me now, I'm always trying to, I got a little thing on my face. I'm trying hard to make sure that I do as best as I can.
What happens if you forget? If you forget if you forget to give someone their flowers, how do you? Is there a moment when you realize that later on? Yeah.
Own it. I think it's better that you own it than to try and pretend like what? I didn't do it, you know, or something like that. I think it's better to own that moment. And I do. Like, oh God, I'm so sorry. I didn't see what you had done. I'm so sorry that I didn't say thank you for that when I was busy with this. You know, even if there's an excuse why, I think more importantly is the acknowledgement and the ownership of it. If you do forget or don't remember to do it, own it. People would rather you say, I'm sorry. I know I messed up there. I did not see what you did there. Here's why. Here's what happened. They'll take that a lot better than you pretending like you didn't do anything at all.
Right. And I guess it goes to reach what McKinley mentioned about doing the right thing. It's better to do something late than to not do it at all. I remember 2012, I had just won the international speech contest, district level. And they offered me the opportunity to say thanks. So
Mhm.
I gave my speech. It was a little too long. They almost started playing music, and I said thank you to all these people. And then after, I realized I forgot one person, and she was in the room. Her name is Sarah. Sorry, Sarah, I forget your last name. I'll reach
Mhm.
out to you. Sarah, who had been the instigator of that particular speech and story the year
Mhm.
before, she had encouraged me to
Mm.
develop it and to create it. So
Mm.
without Sarah, that speech would not have existed at all.
Mm.
Like, I took her aside later on. I said, "I'm so sorry, I forgot to say thank you." And she said, "Oh,
Mhm.
forget about it. It doesn't matter. It's your speech. I was just there to encourage you." And but it felt I felt more complete and more
Mhm.
satisfied by making sure that I had recognized her, even if it was just in private. So I think it also goes back to the idea of public versus private, because it was
Right.
I was really feeling that gratitude towards Sarah. I think that
Yeah.
makes the difference.
It does. It does. And again, some people, when you do recognize, they don't even see that they were needing it. Like
Mm.
Sarah there, how her reaction was. Like my employee, how his reaction was. Because they didn't realize it in any way. But there are people, and I've been there, done that, and have t-shirts where if you don't recognize them, and you forgot, or you did, or you know, in the heat of the moment, it's like you're doing a speech and you recognize it, or you're saying thank you to all these people, and then you messed up on somebody, that they're very upset. And sometimes you're like, I didn't do it on purpose, right? Sometimes it's not done on purpose. I think even McKinley said here, don't blame it on my heart, but my head. Sometimes we just forget. We didn't do it on purpose. It wasn't done intentionally. Our heart was there. What we wanted to do was say thank you to everybody. And sometimes there's too many people. So you can't thank everybody at the same time, but you try your best
Yeah,
to
and
recognize.
it's easy to forget if you don't have a list, especially if it's something that you need to do almost off the cuff, like such as winning an
Mhm.
award. You try to remember everyone, but you'll likely forget someone. I'd like to thank my agent and the academy and my father and
Yeah.
God above and everything. And then you forget one person. I'm sorry if I forgot anyone to be. Thank you to everybody in the room. I
Yeah.
gotta go.
That's so true, right? It is so true. So, you know what, Alex? We do have 2 minutes. I think we can start recognizing some people we do know, right? Why don't we do that just from this is our last show for this season. I can't believe we're already on the last show for the season. I mean, this has been awesome. First and foremost, Alex, thank you for sitting there in that coffee room, in that coffee house about 4 years ago,
Mm.
right? And saying, you know what, let's do this show. We don't know anything about podcasts. We don't know nothing, but the two of us said, let's try it out. And look, 4 years later, we are still here. We've got a great, strong fan base, and we're loving what we do. So thank you, Alexandre, for taking my crazy idea and saying, let's run with it to start. I'd like to also thank our loyal listeners, every one of them. Again, there are so many to recognize, but thank you for always being here week after week, listening to us be crazy sometimes and loving it and participating all the time in the chat. Even the times when you don't say anything, you just are listening. We thank you so much. Quick thank yous. I'm going to do this real fast, Alex. I want to say thank you to AJ Heron from District 26 for bringing me out, for Mr. Ma in China for allowing me to be a part of your corporation at Full How, for James Finnegan, David Clinton, Michael McCann in District 71 for again bringing me out to Ireland to be a part of that, for Ruby Talavera, who had both of us brought out to District 123, the amount of things that she allowed us to do and have our comfort level doing. Thank you so much for that. To Molly Plummer Henry in District 81 for allowing me to come out yet again and again to your district and being a part of that one. And the one that we started this entire thing with, District 120. Thank you for being you, for recognizing your members. To Partha, to Vinuth, and Anadolf. Thank you so much for being great leaders and showing that recognition is important. I appreciate you. And last but not least, Alex, to Nicole, who has been the brains behind the brawn of who I am and all the things that she does behind me to make me look good, even though it goes above and beyond the stuff that she has to do. Thank you. Alex, go ahead.
Well, that was quite a list, brother.
I wanted to get them all in.
We're getting some thank yous for this season, and some people wondering what they will do on their Monday afternoons. Christine Henneberry is giving us some gold stars for our hard work. Christine doesn't give flowers; she gives stars, and it's not figurative; it's literal. Do I have one of them here? Oh no, it's in the other side. But every time that we meet, she gives stars whenever she recognizes something. So she gives a little sticker, and so I've got a few of them in my house all over. I would like to give back one of those stars to Christine. Christine, who has been the past president of Storytellers of Canada, Conteurs du Canada, and without her, I would not have been able to do. I'll say it differently. The organization would not have been able to do what we've accomplished. She's always been there to support me, and even though her role is officially done as a past president, she is still the last president before me. So she's still on my speed dial whenever I need some help or assistance. Speaking of Newfoundland, because she's from there, I went to, while you were going all around the world, I was going in Newfoundland, in St. John's in particular, and I would like to thank the organization who invited me, Canadian Parents for French, or CPF. In particular, Lucie Lamoureux Newson, Gaston Letourneau, and Lon Shoemaker. For Storytellers of Canada at the conference, there are too many people to thank individually, but I will mention Andrea Bremel, who was the chair of the event and of the conference, and all of her team. So thank you so much. Gold stars, flowers all over. You mentioned District 123, our home district. I'm going to name one person in particular, and that is Hitesh Parmar, who is always behind the scenes. Well, sometimes he goes on the stage, but usually behind the scenes, behind a camera lens, and he does some of the oftentimes thankless work where he was so dedicated that he wasn't staying at the hotel. He was going back home like an hour away with all of his equipment every night, and then he came back first thing in the morning. And without him, a lot of what we've recorded and the sound that we had in the videos would simply not exist. So thank you to Hitesh.
Shout out to you, Hitesh. For definitely, man. Listen, Alex, season 7 is in the books. We thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of it. It has been a blast. We are looking forward. We've got lots coming up in season 8 that we want to talk about, disagree, agree, and everything in between. But we still want to say this. Thank you for always coming every Monday, wherever you are in the world, and being with us for this half an hour. We appreciate you. We thank you. We see you. And we love you.
Have a great summer.
As we always say here, keep the conversations going. And whether you agree or disagree, you can always find great convos. Have a wonderful summer. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.